Hello, Sechel here. Was busy the last couple days, so I didn't get a chance to look at Uther closely. So I am going to kind of go through, and forewarning, this is going to be kind of dull and slow, but I'm going to go through what I think is a good Uther build right now with his changes. It will be slow and it could change, and if I do have different thoughts, I will repost something with some new thoughts. So to get right into it, at level 1, we have Silver Touch, which mitigates damage. The quest to mitigate damage with Devotion, and after reducing damage 40 times, Holy Light mana cost is reduced from 90 to 70, which is good, and after 80 times, Holy Light's mana is reduced to 50, and its range is increased by 50. Not too bad. Mana is huge on Uther. He uses a lot of it, so that can help reduce, but Q is pretty hefty mana talent. His Q and E are pretty hefty, 90 and 40. 40 is not as bad as I thought, actually. But his Q does use the most of his mana. There is Wave of Light, damage or heal allies 60 times with Holy Radiance, and then you get to increase the duration of Devotion by 1 second, and his Devotion is, I believe, a 25% spell or armor reduction, or armor addition to reduce 25% of damage, and it's for 2 seconds. And it does not stack with itself, I believe. I thought this allowed it to stack, maybe that's like a 16 or something. I don't know. Anyway, or Hammer of Lightbringer to basic attack enemies 75% of time, and then basic attacks reduce Hammer of Justice by 1 second. And they increase mana when you do basic attacks. I played Uther only twice. I think any of these are kind of viable at the moment. My favorite is Silver Touch, and that's what I'm going to go with. I did not ever play him. The couple times I played him, I did Q and W. I think I did Q once, and I did the W twice. I'd be interested to try this, but yeah, I think Q's the way to go there.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
So if we look at the level 4 talent, Holy Shock. Holy Light can be used on an enemy to deal 50% of its healing amount as damage. When used this way, Uther receives its self-healing benefits. Its cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds, and it refunds 45 mana. Not bad, I just don't foresee... Not bad, because you can use this in a self-healing situation, and its cooldown is reduced by 6. So when you have to throw down a self-heal, you actually just put out a little bit of damage to do your self-heal. And you get some of that mana back. So actually not bad if you're going a Q build. Hammer Justice grants move speed. If you're going the Q talent, that just doesn't make sense here. Holy Fire, deal damage to nearby enemies. Deal 35 damage per second to nearby enemies. Basic attacks against enemy heroes increases damage by 20 for 3 seconds and can stack 3 times. So a good way if you're in the face, going to be doing damage. Once again, I think if you're going the Q, I think Holy Shock actually makes sense. The few times I did play him, I don't think because I kind of jumped in and last second decided to play him on just like quick match or unranked scenario. I went Holy Fire. I think Holy Shock is the way to go. I think it actually makes the most sense. Because Uther is more of a frontliney type of healer. Not always, but he can be, and he has a little bit higher health pool than most healers. I think there's plenty of times you're going to be doing some self-healing, and you can put out some damage as well. So you can kind of get out there, absorb some damage if you need to, when your tank has to back up a little bit, and then you can throw out a Q on somebody, do some damage, but it's the same as self-healing. So I think Holy Shock might be the way to go. I could see an argument for this. If you're in some type of double support where you're going stun, this could work, but I think most situations you're going to be going the Q or the Holy Fire.
Choose a talent.
So then at level 7, let's see if we can take some damage. Let's take some tower shots. Okay, so if I, boom. Okay, so it's a heal over time, I believe. Cooldown reduced by 6 seconds, 50% damage. When used this way, Uther receives its self-healing benefit. Malfurion must have thrown a Q on me. Stupid Malfurion. Let's see if I can select ally hero. Can I do none? I want none. There we go. None. Okay, why isn't it giving me none? Oh, it is giving me none. Okay, cool. So let's take some tower shots. Oh, of course there's no tower. Alright. So now we got some damage on us. Okay, so yeah, does the healing. So now at 7, Hand of Protection, most situations I think is going to be taken. It's the cleanse. Cannot be self-cast. Basic hand of cool. This is Hand of Protection. Cool. That's interesting. I didn't notice that when I was going through. His basic attacks reduces Hand of Protection cooldown by 5 seconds. So it's pretty huge. It's a 90-second cooldown instead of 60-second. Right. But you get a big benefit for doing basic attacks and being more of that in-the-face Uther playstyle. And that's probably what is going to make the most sense. Guardian of Ancient Kings, healing a hero that is stunned or rooted or silenced, increases the armor bonus they receive from devotion from 25 to 75. Very situational, could be good, but I don't see in most situations it making sense. I mean, obviously, even the most standard build can change depending on the other team's draft, the map, your own heroes. Holy Light recharges faster while disabled. Being stunned, rooted, or silenced causes Holy Light cooldown to recharge 200% faster for 6 seconds. Not bad, but I can't see a situation where Hand of Protection isn't going to be the case. Maybe if you have some weird double support where the other support is taking cleanse and you don't need Hand of Protection, then I could see either of these two, depending on the situation, being viable, but Hand of Protection is really the way to go. I haven't used a lot of Divine Storm. It seems to be better with the new Uther. It's going to be just very situational. If the other team has more of a divey comp where they're coming in with like a Kerrigan or, you know, something Illidan, something that's diving in at people, Divine Storm could be really good for kind of that chain lock. As opposed to if you have more of a divey comp, I mean, Divine Shield is just still excellent. So just very situational here. I'll just take Divine Storm. So at 13, we have Holy Light makes basic attacks heal. For the next 5 seconds after using Holy Light, Uther's basic attacks heal him and nearby allies for 15% of the total amount healed by Holy Light. Not too bad, once again, benefiting Uther for being that kind of in-your-face attacking. Hammer of Justice weakens enemies. When used against heroes, Hammer of Justice reduces the target's movement speed and damage dealt by 25 for 3 seconds. Only way you're going to take that is if you're just in some weird double supporty where you're just going stun build, but I don't see it being a real viable in Hero League high level play. I don't foresee this being his build. And then there is Spell Shield, periodically gain temporary spell armor. Everybody kind of knows Spell Shield. Every 30 seconds, gain 50% armor against next enemy ability and subsequent abilities for 3 seconds. Can be toggled to allow or prevent this ability from triggering automatically. Can be very good. It just depends on, it's either the Q or the Spell Shield, Blessed Champion or Spell Shield. Depending on what your opponents are. If they got heavy, if they got like a Chromie or something, this can be great.
Choose a talent.
So it's 16. Beacon of Light. While below 50% health, Uther receives 200% more self-healing when healing others with Holy Light. So when he puts out Holy Light, while below, Uther receives 200% more self-healing when healing others with Holy Light. When Uther heals somebody with Holy Light. Yeah, okay. So... Did I misunderstand this? I thought you got the full healing amount when you take this. I think it's still the way to go, but it makes this more viable. Holy Fire. Let's see, let's take some damage and test this and see how much healing it actually does. So, take some damage. Alright, so right now it should be healing 833 to somebody else, 417 to ourselves. If I do a Q on Arthas, how much healing do I get? 417. So it's the same as healing somebody, you can just now damage with your Q. It just doesn't get rid of that healing effect. Lame. Okay, so at 16... so this could be good. I don't think W build's gonna be the way to go, but some people are thinking it is now. So time will probably tell as people play Uther more and we really see. Allied hero by receive 40% increased healing from all sources for 6 seconds, and then Benediction, just very strong. You can throw out 2 Qs back to back. Once again, going this way, very mana hungry. Activate to reduce the mana cost of Uther's next big attack by 50. So if you complete the first quest, this now only costs 50 mana. You reduce by 50, so essentially use Benediction. The first Q is completely free. Its cooldown is reduced by 10, so you're throwing it out just a couple seconds later. I think Benediction is probably the way to go, but it's situational. Beacon of Light could be good if you're taking more damage than your teammates are. So if you're more on the front line, like let's say you only have 1 tank, you're taking a lot of damage as well. This can be good because you can throw Q on your tank, but you're also getting just as much healing. So now you're both kind of staying up. So this can be very situational. But either Benediction or Beacon of Light.
Choose a talent.
And then at 20. So if we had gone Divine Storm, Divine Shield lasts 2 seconds longer, and its cooldown is reduced by 20. Its cooldown is 80, so now it's a 60-second cooldown, which isn't too bad. It lasts 2 seconds longer. It originally lasted 3 seconds, now it's 5. It's a pretty big increase. It's not bad. If you have like a Kerrigan, if you have an Illidan, if you have somebody that's just diving in deep, a Greymane, somebody that wants to go in, I mean, even Genji now, you can throw it on Genji and he can do some work. He has more time to kind of stay in there. He doesn't have to use his own protect until your 5 seconds passes up. I mean, that can be huge for somebody that can really get in there. So I could see this being actually very good. I know Redemption was always the way to go on Uther. We'll see if that still continues. For Divine Storm, now Divine Hurricane, Divine Storm radius increased by 50%, its cooldown reduced by 20. It has a 80 second, so it's also 60 then. So that can be very good. 50% increase in radius, I just don't see it making sense. It's not that big. The only reason you're taking Divine Storm is people are getting in your face anyway. You don't need another 50% because you're taking it because an Illidan and Kerrigan, somebody's right on top of the core of your team. I just don't foresee this making any sense. Redemption, after Eternal Vanguard ends, so that's when you die, and you have 8 seconds of where you can use Flash of Light, which is kind of like a Q. It's the same as your Holy Light, really, but you just have free of them on a few second cooldown. I don't remember how long that cooldown is. And then you come back with 50% health, which is pretty good. 180 second cooldown, which is pretty big, but I mean, you're only getting this at level 20 anyway, so I mean, this can be huge. You're now going in, if you die, you're healing your team and then coming back anyway. So you get all these burst heals after you die, and then you get to go. So it kind of placates to that I'm in your face Uther basic attacking, getting advantages here, getting advantages maybe here, no. But yeah, getting advantages here on your basic attacks to help with the healing anyway. So, I mean, I think this is still going to be the majority of Taken, but I could see Bulwark of Light having its place. Divine Protection. Devotion now stacks twice, and its duration is refreshed when applied. So if Divine Protection goes on somebody, Devotion, heroes healed by Uther's basic abilities gain 25 armor for 2 seconds. Now you can do it, it'll stack twice, duration refreshed. Could be good if you take the extension on Devotion, wherever that was. Where was that? I don't remember now. Yeah, so could be good. I think at 20, Redemption is going to make the most sense. Oops. And I don't think Divine Protection is going to be the way to go. It can add quite a bit of armor. So like if you take Guardian of Ancient Kings, healing a hero that is stunned, rooted, or silenced increases the armor bonus they receive from Devotion from 25 to 75. I mean, now you stack that on twice. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You're getting potentially, if you have the extension extra 2 seconds, now you're looking at possibly 10 seconds of having 75% armor. It doesn't stack the duration though. Yeah, so I mean that doesn't, because 75 is the maximum armor you can have baseline anyway. So that's not gonna really do anything for you, because yeah, so I think Redemption here. So let's reset talents. So Q. This one's actually tough. I feel like Holy Fire might end up being better. You can just do more damage in the face, making attacks. Holy Light can be used on an enemy to do 50% of its healing amount. Is damage. The only difference is Holy Fire, you have to be in their face to put damage. Q, you get to choose, but now you're not using a Q on an ally. I'm thinking Holy Fire actually makes more sense. Probably Holy Fire. I know the first time around we took Holy Shock, but I think Holy Fire makes more sense. Hand of Protection. This just depends. Let's go Divine Shield. This, once again, depends. I personally like Blessed Champion if you can get away with it. For the next 5 seconds after using Holy Light, Uther's basic attacks heal him and nearby allies for 15% of total amount healed. I mean, you're trying to be in the face getting auto attacks in anyway with Uther. I mean, 15% of total amount healed by Holy Light. Every basic attack for 5 seconds. I forget his... Let's test this. So, Holy Light, basic attack, heal. So, we heal somebody. 130 healing. So, I mean, realistically, we'll just wait a second for it to come up with cooldown. Heal, we can get 1, 2, 3, probably 4 in. Yeah, so you can potentially get 4 extra heals in for everybody that's in range. Does it say what range it is? Nearby allies. It doesn't say what that range is, though. Does it show it? Okay, it does show it. So it's a decent range. It's like Brightwing's extended heal. His increased range on his passive heal, or her passive heal. Okay, so pretty good. And then probably Benediction. or Beacon. Once again, situational.
Choose a talent.
And then probably Redemption. But once again, situational. I think there's arguments for Bulwark Light.
Right.
So I think that is the build. I'll just go through it really quickly one more time. Silver Touch, Holy Fire, Hand of Protection, Divine Storm or Divine Shield, depending on situation. Divine Shield, if you have more dive, you need to protect somebody. Divine Storm, if they have more dive. Probably if neither team has dive, Divine Shield is the way to go. But once again, it depends on your comp. I mean, you're going to draft either for Divine Shield or you're going to draft for Divine Storm. Kind of going in, you're probably going to know, because I don't think Uther is going to be a, first half of the draft take. He's going to be a second half of the draft. He's viable now, I think, but he's not going to be amazing. He's not going to be a Lucio. He's not going to be taken first pick in competitive play, at least. Especially once the hype of his rework goes down. Then Blessed Champion, possibly Spell Shield, depends on the situation. Then Beacon of Light, possibly Benediction, depends on the situation. And then Redemption, possibly Bulwark of Light. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found it informative, and sorry for it being boring.
Agreed.